Okay, y'all, welcome back. I wanted to do this video so that I can show you how to do similar problems to the ones that's on the warm-up so that you'll have a little bit more confidence as you move forward. So this one is just like number one on the warm-up. I created the problem, so I'm going to say that this is given. And I'm going to write down the steps to the left. So I have an equation. I'm solving for P. That's my variable. Anytime you are solving an equation, you want to use inverse operations. Inverses are just opposites of the operations that's being done. So I have 7p minus 4 equals 9. So what I want to do is solve for p. So I'm going to leave 7p alone for right now. I want to get everything on the other side of the equal sign. So in this case, I have a minus 4. I want to do the opposite and add 4. Why am I adding 4? Because I am looking for a 0. If I can make this a 0, then it goes away. And I want you to notice how I line things up. I expect you to line things up in the same manner. So 7p, I'm not doing anything with it. I'm going to drop it down, as well as the equal sign. 9 plus 4 is 13. And so I did my first step of my two-step equation, and this is going to be my second step. 7p is understood to be multiplying. So what I want to do is divide, because that's the opposite. So I'm going to divide both sides. And since when solving an equation, you either want a 0 to get rid of adding or subtracting, or a 1 to get rid of multiplying or dividing, or inverse. So this I am going to divide by 7, because I know 7 divided by 7 is 1. So I'm left with p is equal to 13 divided by 7. That is my final answer. I hope that helps you complete the first problem on the warm-up. Another problem like what you had on the warm-up on number 2 is if 10c minus 4 is equal to 6c, then what is 12c? So the first thing we need to do in order to figure out what 12c is equal to is determine what c equals to. So what I'm going to do is inverse operations again with the given equation, 10c minus 4 equals 6c. You may have another way of solving this problem. If your way works and you are doing mathematically sound functions and operations, keep going at it that way. For me, I'm going to do like I always say, bring the smallest to the largest. I need c's on one side and a number or a constant on the other side. So I want to do the opposite to make this become a 0. To get rid of it, I want to subtract, because I'm bringing the smallest to the largest. So I'm going to subtract 6c on both sides. Lining up variables with variables. Over here, I have a 0. I know that that has been a problem in the past with students, so I just want to encourage you, if you continue to line things up, hopefully we'll get things right. So I didn't do anything with minus 4, so I brought it down. Not with 10c minus 6c, that's going to become 4c. So now my new expression or equation is 4c minus 4 equals 0. Now I got a two-step equation. Solving, oh goodness, can't get my words out. Solving for c, I want to do the opposite of subtracting 4. So then I should add 4 to both sides, creating a 0 here. I've just gotten rid of that 4. So I have 4c, bringing it down, is equal to 4. Last step, 4c is understood to be 4 times c. So for that reason, I am going to use division because it is the opposite. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. When I divide by 4, I am left with a 1 here, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I'm left with 1c equals 1. Now that I know that c is equal to 1, I need to evaluate 12c. So that will be rewritten as 12 times 1. And 12 times 1 is 12. So just like that, I'm done. But I do want to point out, sometimes with standardized tests where it's multiple choice, they will put an answer like 1 on there in one of your multiple choice. So you need to make sure that you pay attention when you're doing those type of tests. Our final answer is 12. All right. Take a second, pause the video, and try to do number 2. This one is like number 3 on the warm-up. So what I wanted to make sure is that I did one like it. So all are equivalent except which one. So the very first inequality that you're given is x is greater than 5. So we need to figure out which of these, if any, is the same as the inequality x is greater than 5. So I'm going to start with B here. So B has 2x is greater than 10. That's what I have given. Since I know that 2x is understood to be 2 times x, I'm going to do an inverse operation again. So the opposite of multiplying is to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. What I'm going to be left with is x is greater than 5. So we see that these two are alike. So we're looking for the exception. So we need to keep going. C, on the other hand, has x minus 7 is greater than negative 2. This is given since I'm trying to get x by itself. And I do think that these are nicer problems because they left x on the left-hand side. As you do know, when x is on the right-hand side of the equation, it tends to cause us to do a flip. Okay, so keep going. X minus 7 greater than negative 2. The opposite of subtracting 7 is to add 7. So that's what I'm going to do on both sides. What you do to one side, you got to do to the other. This leaves us with a 0. And I forgot to point out, this leaves us with a 1. But back over here, x will be greater than 5. So that's the same as what we have for A, B, and C. So it's obvious D should be our answer. I'm going to do it just because. Okay. X minus 2 is greater than 7. So now I have a minus 2. I am going to add 2 on both sides. Plus 2, plus 2. So X is going to be greater than 9. And so like we guessed it, D is going to be the final answer for what we have. That is the odd man out. That is the one that is different. I hope this helps you complete the warm-up. Please let me know if you have any questions. Raise your hand.